This is Pop Culture Confidential, and I'm Christina Yerling Biru. Hey everyone, and welcome to the show. Today I'm joined by Inga Ibsdotter Lilleaas, who plays Agnes in the much-acclaimed Oscar-contending film Sentimental Value. Directed by Joachim Trier and starring Stellan Skarsgård, Renate Reinsve and Elle Fanning, the film has already generated so much buzz. And while Inga may be a new name to many, she's become the breakout star with her powerful portrayal of Agnes, an academic navigating complex family dynamics. The story follows two daughters and their father, a once-renowned director who is trying to reconnect with them by offering a role to Nora, Agnes' sister and actress. When Nora refuses, he offers the part to a Hollywood actress played by Elle Fanning.
Why didn't you want to do the role? He wanted you to do it.
I can't work with him. We can't really talk.
My father is a very difficult person.
Du
kan ikke bare late som han ikke er I byen, kan du det?
I'll prøve.
The film is a moving exploration of sisterhood, identity, and the roles we're assigned within a family, whether we want them or not. I had the chance to speak to Inga, recently named one of Variety's 10 actors to watch, about the film's themes, working with Trier and Skarsgård, and the whirlwind of festival and award season. The bond between the sisters has resonated deeply with audiences of the film, and the performances by Inga and Renate Reinsve are extraordinary. I began our conversation by asking Inga about a story I'd heard, about a pivotal emotional scene between the two sisters, so powerful that even the sound engineer noticed something very special unfolding between her and Renate.
Yeah, I mean, the story is, it differs a little with who tells it, but I remember it as the sound guy coming in and saying that our heartbeats started to beat. How do you say it in English? Like synchront?
At the same time,
At the same time, yeah, simultaneously, yeah.
And he could hear that.
He could hear that because the microphones are, they're close to our hearts, sort of. And so, yeah, and that whole day was so amazing because we had so much time, and the lighting was perfect, and it was just so. It was like cliche, beautiful day. And then it ended with the feeling that we'd made something truthful and like we really connected without any there was nothing in between us. There was no pretending. There was no acting, sort of, if you understand what I mean by that. Yeah. And then our heart beat in the same rhythm.
That's amazing. Tell the audience about the relationship between Agnes and Nora as you see it.
They're sisters, and they grew up in a house in Oslo West, which is like a little bit more upper class, I guess. With their mother's a psychologist, and their father is a very famous film director. And when they're young, he leaves. Their parents get divorced, and yeah, their childhood is very sort of filled with conflict and sort of broken in the sense that they've been left by someone, And so Nora has, throughout their childhood, been there for Agnes and protected her as older sisters or brothers do, almost, just by being there, by being another person in that situation. And so when they grow up, Nora has of course been affected by that and is sort of broken in a way. And Agnes has gotten out of it a little bit more, how do you say? She's a little bit more, secure in herself. And I think that's because she had the older sister protecting her through those formative years. And so she is able to become the older sister's protector in adulthood. And I think that's because of the older sister Nora's sort of sacrifice in their childhood.
And she has a very different relationship to their father.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think, yeah, Nora doesn't speak to their father. Agnes does, but he's very in and out of their lives, you know. And for Agnes, she really wants the family together. She wants that family, and it's not so problematic for her, or she's willing to accept a lot of bad behavior from her father, and just to be with him and to have the family together. But Nora isn't, and she's made a choice that she doesn't want him in her life, I think. So that's sort of the conflict between the two sisters, if there is one, I think, is this: how much should you accept and allow from a parent, and when should you say no? And
yeah, it's such a wonderful portrayal. I was thinking so much afterwards about roles in the family and what roles you kind of have to take or are forced to take. Yeah. What about in your own family? Did you have siblings?
Yeah, I have an older sister and a younger brother, so I have.
Oh, you're the middle.
Privilege. Yes,
you're both.
I have the privilege of being both a little sister and an older sister, so I know a little bit about what it's like to have a protector and someone who is there for you, and the feeling that someone came before you and it turned out fine. So, you know, you get. I think when you have like the older sibling, you kind of can become a little bit more free in life. And I know what it's like to have that responsibility of the younger sibling, and the fear that something's going to happen. I remember when I was a child, like my biggest fear was that something was going to happen to my little brother. And I didn't have that same fear with my sister somehow, but he felt like my responsibility in a way. And that's a heavy thing for a child to feel. And I think a lot of children grow up with the sense that they need to protect their siblings.
Everyone I talk to says that Joachim Trier is such a special director in the relationship he has to you, the actors. What does he understand about you as actors that makes him such a great director to work with?
I think he understands that trust and security is like a fundamental thing of being able to be vulnerable. And he makes everything, like on the set and everything, very safe, secure. Everyone's very focused, and he's also very interested in people. I felt like he was interested in me as a person, not just as a person who comes in to do a job, which is it is a good feeling that somebody cares about you. And he's good at creating relationships, and so working became more than just going to work. We had conversations about life and art and stuff that just expands the mind in that context of the work. And I think that makes it lifts it to another level immediately. You're not stuck at the first read of something, you know. You can just explore freely.
And what about Stellan?
I think it's a little bit the same with Stellan. He's a little bit more mysterious, I guess, but he's also very warm and kind. And there's like the first time I met him, I all of a sudden like felt a little, oh my God, that's him. And I've seen him in so many great things, but I forget that immediately because he's just a person who tries to get to know you, and is very present and quiet at the same time. He's very focused, but then also he can just all of a sudden talk about or tell a story from like Dogville or something, which, you know, so crazy to just all of a sudden realize that, oh, he was in Dogville. That's right. That's right. Oh my God. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun to get to know him, and he's a really nice guy, and there's so much soul and lived life that it's for an actor to look into those eyes, and just it's so much fun.
Yeah, Joachim was saying that he loves to be on set and to talk to you. And one of the things he really helped out with was that he bought all the lunches
Yeah, I mean,
Norway traditionally doesn't have lunch. In Sweden, where he's from.
yeah, we have lunch, but I think like in the 90s maybe, or like a few years back, when he worked here, it wasn't lunch, or it was bad or something. So he has started to go down in his salary or something to put into the budget of the lunch. But so, I mean, I've been on film sets in Norway for 10 years now, and there's never been a problem with not having lunch.
Okay.
So,
But
but I
Stellan is
mean,
very
this
good
was
with food.
exceptionally, yeah, this is exceptionally good this time around.
One of the themes also in the movie is this artistic family. All families have issues, of course, but there's something very special about being, a family of artists. And I know that you grew up in the theater, basically. Joachim is 3 generations of filmmakers. Stellan, we know he has all the actors in his family. What would you say is sort of typical of what happens or what can happen in a family of artists?
Well, I only have my own family as a reference, I think, but I also know a lot of actors and a lot of artists. So for me, comparing my childhood to my friends, sort of, I felt like there was more open conversations from an earlier stage, maybe. And we had, or for me, I have had that in common with my parents, the interests in art and theater. So I think it connects you in a different way, maybe, that you have something so profound together, something that you really understand at this deeper level, that's about who you are as a human being and how it's not possible to be different. For me, that was the outcome that I have like a secure foundation of something together with my family. And but for Nora and Agnes, it's not necessarily that way, it's not, yeah, I don't think security is what's come out of it necessarily.
No, quite the opposite. I guess
Yeah,
he's not there and tries to
but
connect through his art,
yeah,
which may not be the right way all the time.
but
But
it is a way. But I think it's not about him being an artist. That's the problem. It's what he's experienced in his life as a human being. It's his trauma that's in the way, and not being able to deal with it, and nobody interfering in it, maybe.
your performance is just resonating so much. What is it like the whole festival season?
It's definitely a new experience. There's a lot more stuff around than normal, but it's fun. I guess I'm meeting a lot of really cool people, and doing interviews is also kind of fun in a way, because you get to talk about your work and you get to explore it more and more. Normally it just ends after a week or two, so that's kind of interesting. And it's also a lot of stress, but
I can imagine.
and I get to travel places, yeah.
What's a 19-minute ovation like? What do you do?
Yeah, what do? You just smile until the smile sticks for 2 days after. I mean, I didn't have the feeling of 20 minutes or 19 minutes. It was just awkward, but also very full of love. I felt like it was sort of genuine. So I was just taking it in and feeling a little awkward with the cameras coming up in your face, and yeah, it was just overwhelming. And then after we realized it had been quite a long time. So you don't have that feeling of time in that situation. You're just taken out of time, sort of.
What's next for you, Inga? Do you know?
No, I don't. I know that this will take up all my time until January, I think, for now. And then
With
we'll
the
see what
traveling
happens.
and the
Yeah,
festivals and
yeah. There's a lot of festivals, a lot of premieres, and yeah. And so that's what I'm doing. And then when I'm home, I'm home.
But you don't know what your next project will be. I'm sure they'll be calling from everywhere.
Well, we'll see. I know some things that might happen, but nothing's set in stone yet. So we'll see.
Inga, it's been incredibly lovely to talk to you, and this movie has just really resonated with me, and thank you so much for taking your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.